women who survived Joe Rifkin. The families of those who did not are horrified.
She didn't deserve to die like that, and if she was a prostitute, it don't matter. She was a human being.
It is a violent and tragic story, and it's still unfolding. And joining us today are two more families who are speaking for the first time on television. Tiffany Bresciani's mother, Cheryl, and Ira Sanchez's sister, Zeta and Carol. Cheryl, when people talk these days about these murders, they cannot believe the circumstances involving your daughter. How did you find out?
I was at a home school with a friend that has a school for kids, and I was in one of the rooms, and I just heard it on the television. I had no idea, you know. It was Tiffany.
You had no idea?
No.
And when did you find out that it was Tiffany?
It was just like about a week later. It's about like Saturday, July the 3rd. Saturday evening, July the 3rd.
And
some policemen came over.
Yeah, and told you?
Mm-hmm. Told my mother Saturday night.
How long had it been since you had heard from her?
I heard from her about 2 or 3 times a week. She would call me all the time and, you know, report and let me know what she's doing and everything.
So you heard this story about something being stopped, there was a body in the truck, and now all of a sudden, this is your daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, did you say, I mean, how did that happen? Where did...
I found out about the body thing after, you know, after the police told us, and a couple of my friends were with me, and you know, we looked in the newspaper and we saw the thing about someone's body, and it was Tiffany's body in the truck.
So in effect, I mean, it's your daughter's body that stopped this serial killing spree.
That's right.
Everybody talks about these women as if they're women of the street, prostitutes. How does it make you feel?
Well, I knew that I knew that there'd be some bad publicity, you know, in all news. A lot of news, they do this. I knew there'd be a lot of bad things and a lot of good things said, you know. But I mean, to tell you the truth, I taught Tiffany, I taught myself to thank God for every situation. That it's the first thing I did. I thanked God for the bad things, and I thanked him for the good things, you know. And I knew I was going to have a lot of bad news, but I knew Tiffany. I knew how she was. And
how was she? Was she
She's
a
a
prostitute?
wonderful... No, I don't think she was a prostitute or a drug addict. She was well-trained and well-skilled in knowing the gifts of the Spirit and the fruit of the Spirit, which is, you know, we're taught in all religious aspects, you know, love, joy, and peace, and patience and kindness. In fact, this is like one of the first things she gave me when she was just about 7 years old. It's a lion laying down with the lamb, and it's a, you know, it means the millennium, the 1,000-year reign.
Can you see how she would befriend somebody like Joel Rifkin? She
befriended a lot of people because that's how we grew up. She grew up in church schools. We, you know, I started churches and helped with schools and started schools and everything. So this was a common thing to know a lot of people. We had people all the time with us everywhere helping people.
So you don't buy in that your daughter was a prostitute?
No, she never was. She was above all of the, you know, I taught her not to knock people or if they did these things. And I'm not saying that she might have made a mistake. She might have thought this man was nice or something, or she didn't expect for people, you know, to do things like that, you know. I don't believe she was.
Let's talk to Zeta and Carol. Talk to me about your sister, Iris.
Well, the last time I saw my sister was a little over a year and a half ago, and she came to my mother's house, and she had been badly beaten. And she had, her nose was swollen, and it was all black and blue. She had bruises to her chest. She was complaining of difficulty breathing, at which point, you know, I said to her, you better go to the doctors, go to the hospital, because it appears that you may have broken ribs or bones inside of you. And she said, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go. And she left, and that was the last time I saw her.
You knew of her lifestyle?
Yes.
Yeah. She was of the streets?
Yes, she was.
Yes.
Prostitution?
Prostitution, yeah.
Drugs?
Yeah, she was on crack.
Yeah. As I understand it, you would converse with your sister and you kind of like put the word out on the street. for her to call, right?
Well, whenever there was a family function, or she had an 8-year-old, has an 8-year-old daughter. So whenever there was something involving her daughter, like her birthday, Christmas, special occasions, all we had to do was put the word out on the street, and she would immediately come.
The message got to her, one way or the other.
And how long had it been since you knew that she wasn't around, or that she was in such deep trouble that she wasn't showing up?
Well, in May of 1992, her daughter was receiving her first Holy Communion. And my mother sent word out on the street to let her know the date.
Your mother was taking care of her daughter?
My mother has legal custody. She's my niece's legal guardian. And at this point, she put word out to let Iris know that her daughter was receiving First Communion, the date of the ceremony and the services. And on that day, when Iris didn't show up at the church, you know, my mother woke up, she dressed my niece, and my mother was waiting and hoping that she would come. And when we got to the church and my mother realized that there was no show, my mother said something's terribly wrong, because it's not like her.
You assumed that Iris was dead?
Yes.
For over a year?
Some of us were more worried than others. I had a feeling she was dead. Around New Year's, my mother realized that she's definitely dead.
You heard about the Joe Rifkin story. You saw it on television once he was arrested?
Yes.
How long after that did they connect the death of your sister to Joe Rifkin?
2 weeks later.
Could you believe that?
Nope, it was shocking. It was shocking to all of us. But
even though the life you know she was leading?
Well, you always think in the back of your head, well, I have a sister out in the street, but you never think this would happen in your family, you know, actually.
Right.
You say, well, this will happen in somebody else's family, not mine. Though in the back of your head, you say, well, I have a sister who's out there in the street.
This is, as I understand it, what the detectives did. Rifkin told them, once he started talking about all the people that he had killed, that there was a body that he had buried under a mattress at JFK Airport.
yes, and he also stated the location where he picked her up. So he stated he picked her up on 12th Street and 2nd Avenue. And then the police went back to that area and questioned all the girls in that
They pulled the files
neighborhood. And
missing
everyone
reports,
kept coming up with the name of Iris. Everyone said, well, there's one girl we haven't seen, and she was always here, Iris Sanchez. So at that point, they matched her height, the height of the skeleton that they recovered from Kennedy Airport, and they matched it up to the missing persons report. And at this point, the next step was to go to the next of kin, which was my mother. They went to my mother. My mother refused to speak to any of us about it. Finally, she broke down and she told our sister Maribel, who's sitting in the audience, at which time Maribel immediately called me at home. And, you know, she says, don't panic. She says, don't get upset, but there's a possibility that Iris might be the girl.
When they found Iris, what did they find?
Well, she had been killed about 1.5 years ago. Rifkin said he killed her back either in April or May. And all that was left was her remains.
And a sock, I think, or something.
She was wearing a black dress with polka dots, black and white, one sock on her foot, I read in the paper.
And when you buried her, you just buried a skeleton.
That's it, that's all we had. We didn't even have a body.
My mother was very upset, and, you know, I said to her, I said, Mom, you know, you have to be grateful and thankful because at least we have her remains to bury. I says, just imagine how many mothers, how many sisters, how many aunts are out there just wondering where their niece, daughter, you know.
Because all the bodies haven't been found.
No,
And
I mean,
how do we know?
he
that's his-
confessed to 17. How do we know?
And as I understand it, the only reason he stopped at 17 was because his lawyer walked in the room when he was confessing, and all of a sudden, he could confess to no more.
That's
Right,
correct.
that's correct.
Next, we're going to see and meet a woman who once lived with Joel Rifkin, who says police told her she could have been his next victim after this.
If you suffer from an inflamed, itchy rash caused by eczema, psoriasis, or other skin irritations, you can get the relief medication formerly available only by doctor's prescription. It's the medicine in maximum strength cortisone 10. Look, Cortisone 10 applied to this itchy rash gets under the itch for soothing relief and help in healing. See? The rash is gone. To relieve itchy rashes and skin irritations, use maximum strength Cortisone 10 with the medicine doctors recommend most. Available without prescription.
See this? It won't make you smarter. When it was decided how smart you'd be, your credit limit didn't matter. You can't buy intelligence, okay? Well, maybe you could. I mean, no card is more accepted on the planet than MasterCard. So you could buy books and computers and chemistry sets, and that could make you smarter. And Master Value's discounts can save you up to 25% at thousands of stores. And if that's not buying intelligence, at least it's buying intelligently. So maybe a MasterCard could make you smarter. We ought to get you on a quiz show. MasterCard. It's more than a credit card. It's smart money.
To start a career, you simply need training. At Delta College, we will train you and help you secure your career. It takes less than a year to graduate from our programs in business management, electronics and computer repair, or computerized office management. Employers are looking for trained people. Call Delta College today in Medford at 770-2001. That's 770-2001. Call now and find out how you can receive a computer as a Delta graduate. In Medford, 770-2001. That's 770-2001.
You're going to be spending a lot of time outdoors this summer. Surround yourself with the best. At Quality Fence, we carry a complete line of wood and chain link fence, inserts, ornamental iron, and custom gates. Stop by our showroom to see the many styles of fence and let us demonstrate the latest in remote-controlled automatic gate openers. Let our professionals design a system customized to fit your needs, whether it be residential or commercial. Quality Fence on West Pine Street in Central Point.
Iris Sanchez's other sister. It still makes you upset, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
What is it? What is it? Is it the memories that it brings back, or is it the cruelty of it all?
No, it's the cruelty.
How's your mother taking this?
Well, she's trying her best to hold.
And how's her little daughter?
She's doing pretty good. Thank God she got three aunts to really take care of her and look after her, so she's really depending on us.
She's very upset at this point. You know, my sister, for those of you that didn't hear, leaves behind an 8-year-old daughter. And the day we all found out and when we were making funeral arrangements, she was sitting at the dining room table at my mother's house, and I said to her, you know, I said, are you okay? Is there do you want to say anything to us? How are you feeling? And she said, she put her head down and she says, I'm very sad. And she looked up at all of us and she said, all my cousins have their mother and I don't have mine. And she says, I never even got a chance to know her. So,
Let me ask you this, Zeta. Was there any attempt by the family to try to get Iris, off the streets?
There was all the time. My sister Carol has 2 children. She's going to crack houses, on the streets.
We were going to worst places looking for her.
In the morning, all hours of the night.
Bars everywhere, in the streets everywhere.
It got to the point where I was worried about Carol because every time I spoke to my mother was like, well, Carol was out 4 o'clock in the morning because they told her they saw her at a crack house. And, you know, it was constant trying.
This past July, a New York newspaper ran a story about a desperate search for a mystery blonde in this case. Catherine Ludwig was shocked to learn the police were looking for her. Why?
Evidently, he had intended to murder me also.
You knew Joe Rifkin?
Yes, he was a roommate. I hired him to do some work for me.
Right.
Some editing work.
Right.
On a script I was writing.
And apparently they found your picture in his house?
They found several rolls of film that he had taken from my house when I asked him to leave.
Catherine, I mean, let's be a little honest, or as honest as we can be. It was a little more than you knew him and you did some editing for him. I mean, you were close to him, right?
To a certain extent, yes.
Yeah, right? And he lived with you for a while, didn't he?
For 2 months, yes.
Right. What was he like?
Timid, shy.
Why do we always hear this? Why do we always hear this with serial killers? Jeffrey Dahmer, he was a very quiet guy. But this is the kind of a guy you're talking about. This is a guy who has admitted to killing at least 17 women.
I'm still having nightmares.
When you say timid and shy, what do you say? I mean, describe.
He was not an outgoing individual. He did go out, but nothing like what I have read. This is not the Joel Rifkin that I knew.
Tell me why you liked him.
He was rather intelligent, and there were a lot of reasons I liked him, and I can't really go into all of them. This is still, as you understand, a very intense investigation. Case.
And you might be called to testify.
I'm definitely going to be called to testify, so there's a lot I have to do.
You said the word love, didn't you, just now? You loved him.
Yes, I did. Not as a lover, as a friend. Yes, I thought he had a lot of intelligence and a lot of things going for him.
Did you have any idea about his sexual tastes?
No.
No. Did you know that he hung around prostitutes?
No.
Did he ever show any kind of behavior that was strange to you?
Yes, but I overlooked it. He wasn't running around murdering people.
Right. But what was the kind of strange behavior he was showing?
Oh, he would go out and at night and stuff like that. But I never really accompanied him. We didn't have a social life together. The time we spent together was working together. And once in a while we'd get something to eat. That was it.
Did you know about his now famous pickup trucks?
No.
Huh?
No.
Did he steal stuff from you?
Yes, he did.
What did he steal?
Well, when the police found me, I went through the things that he took from me. He took an antique set of pearls. He had them all in with the deceased properties, clothing.
Isn't this why the police thought that you might be the next victim?
They
because he had a
the
history of taking things, whether it be jewelry, wallets, pieces of clothing from his victims, and kept them.
Yes, mine were also included with the women, and then in the journal it was also stated that he stated I was going to be a victim or was an intended victim.
Did he write it in his diary?
Yes.
That he was going to kill you next?
Yes.
You had no inkling of this?
No. I haven't seen Joel Rifkin for 8 years. I went on with my life, and I had never saw him again.
Did you ever meet his family?
Yes, many occasions. I had dinner with the family. I spent weekends out there. It was basically, other than his relationship with his mother, a pretty normal household.
It's always a normal household, isn't it? He was always, gosh, how could somebody like that? He just lived next door. I mean, all of that. We always hear that. I've been hearing that ever since I've started covering murder stories years ago on television. You go to the neighbors and they would say, it was quiet. I can't believe that happened. Gee, never went out of his house, never caused any trouble.
He never even raised his voice.
Really?
Wow.
And you would call him meek?
Once he raised his voice because I let his car get towed away. That was it.
When we come back, an eyewitness who says he once stopped Joel Rifkin from choking his girlfriend after this.
It's Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
Grab the gang and head on down to a swinging lobster party. It's the talk of the town. Hey, Tail, how you dip 'em?
Red Lobster.
How you love 'em? You don't need brass bands. Oh, you have fun just using your hands.
New combinations like you've never had before, all at special prices.
The lobster's just the best at Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
The party's over in a few weeks.
So don't miss it. Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
Attention mobile home buyers, buying a new home, look no further. USA Home, Southern Oregon's #1 retailer, has it all. That's right, everything you want at 2 convenient locations. Double wides as low as $23,900. 5% down on any home you select. Want a land home package? USA Homes has several to choose from. Best of all, 30-day delivery on any custom-built home. That's right, 30-day delivery time. USA Homes has the right selection, the right price, and the right financing. Look no further. USA Homes with award-winning service and never undersold. USA Homes, Medford and Grants Pass, open 7 days a week till 7 p.m.
The Smart Money shops at Burmeister's. Now all wallpaper, $15.99 and under, save 50%. That's half price, including borders. Over 44,000 rolls in stock. And we always provide free instruction and free loaner tools. Burmeister's, windows and walls and floors and more. You can bank on Burmeister's and save 70% off suggested retail prices on Ingroover and Inspiration from Levolor. Save 70% now on Levolor from Burmeister's, windows and walls and floors and more.
Southern Oregon's largest and most unique antique showrooms is Heirloom Antiques. Come in and see hard-to-find, one-of-a-kind items like a 1904 horse-drawn carriage, an 1860 pump organ with ivory keys, old-style telephones, radios, and typewriters in working order, beautiful armoires, kitchen utensils, and many other items of antique furniture and collectibles for the home. Antique lovers will love shopping at Heirloom Antiques, 5 miles east of Medford on Crater Lake Highway, next to Waterworld.
The Channel 10 News Advantage. If you watched us, you saw it in action. A destructive earthquake rocks the Klamath Basin. Moments afterwards, Channel 10 News begins a round-the-clock effort to cover the quake.
An earthquake rocked Southern Oregon.
With people hungry for information, the news leader delivered. With special Earthquake Edition newscasts and updates, live reports from the scene, and eyewitness accounts. From the air and ground, you saw the drama unfold. In times like these, you need the advantage of Channel 10 News working for you.
Joe Rifkin has confessed to murdering 17 women and has told police where they could find the buried bodies. Police are investigating the death of yet another woman, Mary Catherine Williams. Kevin was Mary Catherine Williams' boyfriend, former boyfriend. You were an eyewitness, Kevin, as I understand it, one time between Joel and Mary Catherine. Tell us about that.
Yes, I was. It was sometime in September of last year where Mary Catherine Williams had an apartment in a storefront area on 9th Street in Lower Manhattan, where she would frequently have her Johns visit her there. And one afternoon, I was in the apartment across the hallway from where Mary Catherine Williams was, and I heard the sound of furniture breaking and a blood-curdling scream coming from her apartment. Ran to the door, banged on the door until a man answered the door. And he cracked the door in a way where I could just see parts of the apartment. And then when I kept asking him what's going on, and I could see the furniture was overturned, and it looked as though there was a struggle, he said, nothing. And I was yelling in the hallway, and he kept saying, lower your voice, calm down, take it easy, nothing's going on. And then finally, I pushed open the doorway, pushing Joel Rifkin out of the way, and I saw Mary Catherine Williams on the floor, naked from the waist down, holding her neck, and at that point she was literally blue in the face. When I asked her what had happened, he had interjected and said she had just taken a big hit of crack cocaine, and she said, he tried to kill me, he strangled me. Well, with that, I grabbed Joel Rifkin with one hand, hit him in the face with the other, and he dropped to his knees, and I dragged him out. This was a ground floor apartment, and I dragged him out and threw him out.
Mary Catherine was a dear friend of yours, right?
Yes, she was.
Girlfriend at one time, right?
Yeah.
Where is she now?
She's dead. Her body was recovered in Westchester County.
He has not confessed to this killing, has he yet?
No, it's my understanding that as he was confessing, he got to number 17, and his attorney showed up, and his attorney put the police on notice, which means once the attorney comes in and tells the police there's no more questioning, and they can't ask him any more questions, so that put the damper on that.
But Kevin, did you ever tell Mary Catherine to stay away from this guy?
Well, I didn't finish the whole story. Of course I did. I mean, but at the last 2 months of Mary Catherine Williams' life, she was so controlled by that drug that she I just one second. She was led by that drug, and if you had money and you could supply her with the drug, she would be off with you. Not 10 minutes after that incident took place, I was back in the apartment where I was originally at, and I heard the buzzer again. It was Joel Rifkin, because when I hit him, his glasses had flew off. I went to the doorway, the entrance of the apartment in the hallway to the door, and I said, you know, what do you want? What do you want? He says, no, please, I just need my glasses. I can't drive without my glasses. So at that particular time, she had opened up the door. Mary Catherine had opened the door up, and she had the glasses. I said, give me the glasses, I'll give it to him. And believe it or not 10 minutes after he had almost took her life right then and there, she says, I'll give him the glasses, and she went off with him.
Went off with him?
Went off with him again.
Oh, boy.
So sweet, too, you know, and nice. And what I saw in public a lot is they overemphasize them being hookers or being prostitutes or taking drugs and all like that. But notice all the people were the girls. We can't judge these girls because we don't know their lives. A lot of them wanted to be models, or my daughter wanted to be a writer. That was what she wanted to do. She had offers to be in movies and everything.
You don't think that your daughter was a prostitute, do you?
Definitely not.
Did she take drugs?
She had been on the methadone you know, she went to the methadone clinic, and she was definitely stopping. Like every day, she would call me and report to me and say, "Mommy, you know, I'm trying to stop and everything." And there's a thing also, you know, they say that if a lot of people will come that are in drugs, in that drug situation, they'll say, "Help me, I'm sick," you know. And these girls are friendly and nice, and they try to be kind. And this is what happens, you know, they get trapped by, you know, men like this, or people that are trying to be like she was entrapped.
Joel used the drug to get these women procured?
Absolutely. Either he had the drug or he had the money to get the drug for her. That's what it was all about.
Some friends who grew up with Joel give us an inside look at the man behind the headlines, and also a woman who has not only reported this story for People magazine, but has now written a book on Joel Rifkin when we come back.
Here are a few tips on how to beat the burglar when you're away from home. Leave shades and drapes open when they're closed. It's a sign of an unoccupied home. Park a car in the driveway or have a neighbor park there. Don't stop all deliveries. Have a friend or neighbor collect your mail and newspaper. Organize a neighborhood watch. This will discourage burglars from even entering your neighborhood. For more elementary clues on how you can beat the burglar, stop by a participating State Farm insurance agent and tell them Sherlock Holmes sent you.
Are you hunting for a bargain? Well, scope out these hunter specials right now at Blackbird. Coleman enamel campwear, dinnerware, and cookware sets, only $19.99. Sorrel Crusader boots, they really keep your feet warm and dry, and they're $15 off. Rubbermaid's big 48-quart cooler, only $15.99. And while you're here, you can pick up your deer tags. Make sure your aim is true. Shop Blackbird.
Everything for the life you're living, Blackbird has it all.
1810 West Main, Medford.
And now the truth behind the invention of IHOP's new country griddle cakes. 7:10 a.m. Cliff, in a misguided attempt to make a hearty country breakfast, accidentally spills cream of wheat into buttermilk pancake batter. Undaunted, Cliff eats the results. He's delighted at the down-home taste and light, crispy texture. Cliff presents his findings to IHOP. The world rejoices.
Actually, it's a lot easier to let IHOP make breakfast.
Country Griddle Cake Combo, $2.99. Only $2.99 now. New Country Griddle Cake Combo, $2.99 at your International House of Pancakes, IHOP.
How do I feed my hungry family? With new home-style hamburger helper. I'm gonna make a real good, feel-good meal. It's gonna have some good old family appeal.
You'll love new Salisbury with home-cooked pasta in a rich, hearty sauce.
Hamburger helper makes a real good meal.
New home-style hamburger helper.
Makes a real good meal.
Get
ready. All-state wholesalers will be here. Over $500,000 in electronics and housewares must be liquidated. AT&T cordless phones, $29. Answering machines, $19. Seiko watches, $29. 6x9 car speakers, only $19. AM/FM in-dash cassette stereos, $12. Video cassette player with remote, $99. Everything sold on a first-come, first-served basis. Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. $3 admission. Cash only, please.
At the Nindales Hotel, 2300 Crater Lake Highway.
Maria Eftimiadis is from People magazine. She has just completed a book titled Garden of Graves, the story of the Long Island serial killer, Joel Rifkin. You've talked to a lot of people. What did you find out about this guy?
Well, he was obviously, he was a very disturbed man. I mean, he was tormented as a child, teased in high school and throughout his life. And he was a loner, as everyone says.
We're not feeling sorry for this guy.
No, but I think it's important to know somebody's background. No, you can't feel, I mean, I guess you do feel some sympathy for someone that's treated the way he was growing up. But I mean, clearly a lot of people get teased in high school and they don't end up killing 18 women.
But I bet you a bunch of those girls were totally opposite. See, even though some of them might have been on the streets, I really believe that they were probably kind and they tried to be kind and merciful, and they weren't violent, because my daughter didn't know anything about violence, nothing about violence.
All girls, I mean, my sister, when she came around us, we never thought she was on crack. We never imagined her selling herself on the streets. I mean, she was, but when they're out there and they want that crack and they want their drugs, I mean,
didn't you tell me you played mother to him?
They have to do to get what they want.
Yes, he was very easy to dominate. His mother was the beginning of that, though. She was extremely dominant.
Maury, I think the parents, from what I learned, both of his parents were very well educated and very community oriented, and I think Joel was somewhat of a disappointment in the family. He didn't do well in school. His parents had high hopes for him, and I think that he felt that he was kind of the loser, an underachiever, and I think there was a lot of pressure and a lot of stress in that family.
Yeah. Particularly between himself and his mother?
It appears that way. And his father died 6 years ago, just shortly before he started killing. I guess his father died just about the time he met Catherine. Yes. And shortly after that, he began killing
And what's so funny is my daughter was totally opposite. I trusted in her. I believed in her. I let her go off, you know, for the 5 years. I respected what she felt. And it's a total opposite thing there. That's what I'm trying to say. That
I understand, Cheryl.
It's very, you know.
Alan Whitlock, when we talk about Joel Rifkin, ought to know he was Joel Rifkin's former classmate, and Michael Brown recently worked with Joel. How about that? How about this when he was in high school? What was he like, Alan?
He was quiet to himself. He was on a track team. He ran cross country.
I had heard, didn't they pick on him?
Oh, very much.
How would they pick on him?
One of the many times I remember is that after track practice, he was in the showers, along with everybody else, and everybody had walked out. They had finished, and they just started throwing eggs at him in the shower. Now he never, from what I remember, he never said anything to torment them. He was different. He was quiet. He was to himself. They would say something to him, he would more or less look the other way. No outbursts, no fights. Then there was, I remember another instance when they had a track meet upstate. And they didn't have any buses they go up there with. So they all banded together, they carpooled up to this track meet. After the track meet, they left him there.
They just left him?
They left him. He had to call his father to come pick him up.
Michael, what was he like recently? You worked with him. You knew him in high school, and then you knew him recently.
Yes, I worked with Joel in July of 1992 up until April of 1993.
Oh, till a few months ago.
Correct.
Yeah. Where'd you work?
Olympus Camera Corporation in Woodbury.
Right. And what was he like?
When we were working, it seemed that he always wanted to know what everybody else did on the weekends. And when we confronted him and asked him how his weekend was, he didn't want anybody to know.
What is it with the trucks?
When I commuted with Joel, to and from work, we never took his trucks. He always asked everybody else for lifts to and from work. During lunch breaks, we always either took my car to lunch, a couple of other employees' cars. Never wanted to take his.
Did you ever get into his truck?
No.
So much odor and so much stuff that they can find.
What's that?
With the odors and stuff, why would he want to use his car? He was probably hiding bodies already.
Transporting them.
That's it, because he was taking those bodies, putting them in drums, transporting the drums to the rivers with his truck. And that's the problem. That's why he didn't want anybody in his truck. In fact, that's why the cops, once they stopped him with no license plates, go into the back and smell this odor. And that's when it all becomes a reality. When we come back, a neighbor of the Rifkins wants a chance to speak on their behalf after this.
Just one more little twist, and this toilet is in.
TV home improvement expert Joanne Liebler for 2,000 flushes.
Installing this toilet, a job. Cleaning it, a snap. When you use 2,000 flushes blue, I recommend it. Just drop it in. It's loaded with detergents to clean, deodorize, and keep the water blue up to 4 months. Count on it. I do. For a really clean toilet, you'll love 2,000 flushes blue. Cleans your toilet with every flush.
Go ahead. Ask her age. I'm 34.
42.
29.
Who do they think they're fooling?
Everyone. New Maybelline Revitalizing Makeup. Age-denying coverage. Outwits fine lines. New Maybelline Revitalizing Makeup. I'm 40.
Maybe she's born with it.
Get ready for a breakthrough.
Stay dry, stay fresh, don't mess that dress.
Because now Ban Clear comes a new antiperspirant formula. It's the first solid that goes on clear and keeps you dry. And only Ban has it.
Stay dry, stay fresh, don't mess that dress.
Ban Clear AP is different. It won't leave messy white flakes like ordinary white solids can. But it will keep you dry all day, so you'll look your best.
Stay dry, stay fresh, don't mess that dress.
Get new Ban Clear AP.
Roseanne's got a bitter pill to swallow.
It's time for me to get some birth control.
Isn't it great, Roseanne?
An ounce of prevention
I can't do this.
is worth 8 pounds of baby.
I can do this.
On the next Roseanne.
Suddenly I feel like calling up your father and apologizing to him for ever having sex with his daughter.
It's enough that you've apologized to me.
Tune in weeknights at 7 on KTVL 10.
Hi, I'm Jeff Palmer of Channel 10 News with today's 10 Country Bulletin Board.
Mount Ashland Ski Area will hold a community volunteer workday Saturday, September 25th, beginning at 9 a.m. For additional information, call 482-2897. And the second annual Kids Mountain Bike Race is scheduled this Saturday at Prescott Park on Roxy Ann Butte. For details, contact Lisa at 772-2566.
KTVL's community service, making 10 Country a great place to be.
You're tuned to the Maury Povich Show on KTVL Channel 10, the news leader.
Ladies, does your man tell you to dress sexy?
Baby, find something that shows off a little bit of cleavage. You know, just show it.
Are you tired of it?
I feel sleazy. You're told to dress sexy to please your man. I'm not a sex kitten.
Ready to get even? On the next Maury Povich Show, it's the guys' turn to bare their bodies.
I say if you haven't, flaunt it.
On the next Maury.
What about his biological parents, and why was he adopted?
How about that, Maria?
Well, there's not too much information out on that. His natural parents were unmarried students. The mother was 20 and the father was 24. And they gave him up for adoption, and the Rifkins took him when he was 3 weeks old.
Did he know he was being
he always
adopted?
Knew. Both he and his sister were adopted. They always knew. It never seemed to be a big issue in the family.
I have a question for the lady in green.
I would like to know, why do you seem so calm if you were supposed to be the next victim? You seem like you're doing this more for publicity or anything. Or maybe you knew something about what he was doing?
Not at all. Not at all.
That's it, not at all? Catherine?
No.
Nothing else?
No, I'm still in a great deal of shock right now. I'm still reliving everything I've read. I can barely stomach this.
Also important to note, I mean, he hadn't killed anyone when he knew Catherine at that point.
That we know.
Well, that we know. Well,
I certainly didn't know anything.
This is for Catherine. You said you had met his parents before, his adoptive parents. Did you know anything about the background when he was a little boy? Was there any type of domestic violence against him that made him that angry that he'd want to go out and do that?
I believe it's probably a combination of the entirety of his life up until the time he started killing. He just held everything in. As you heard, he was very quiet and timid.
But he and his mother had some big rows, right?
Oh, yes.
you know, justice does have to go on. You know, we have to have justice, though, in America. Sometimes they, like I said, they magnify the drugs and the street things and all, you know, and the man, you know, I mean, I don't want to call anybody evil names or anything, but it's hypocritical to major on this man, and he's killed all these precious women. These are women that had families, that were loved. Tiffany was definitely, truly loved, and her, the sister and this young girl's sister.
Yeah, but you know, we
it's
say,
just a terrible,
of course you
terrible
love them,
thing.
and you're their family, and you've lost your dear ones. But
That's right.
But the point is, they were out on the street, they were alone, they
But
could
did
not...
this man a right to kill them? I mean, not even a dog deserves to die the way these girls died, because they could have been out there ripping people off, beating people up. They weren't hurting no one but themselves. They were selling their bodies.
Yes, I like to know. He said he drove around without license plate for a while.
Right.
Did he
that
really?
night.
Yeah. Did he really want to be caught?
Probably.
How about that, Maria?
Well, I believe he wanted to be caught.
Well, the police actually...
He had to be caught.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I mean, I think the police believe that he really inadvertently had taken license plates off. He had 2 trucks, and he used to exchange different
You don't
parts
think
of
he
them
was
back
ready to
and
get
forth.
caught?
Oh, I think in many ways he must have been. I mean, he obviously is driving around with a dead body in his
I
truck.
have a question for the lady. I don't know her name.
Catherine.
Okay. What I want to know is, 1 minute you saying you love him, then the next minute you say you don't really know too much about him. You didn't really have a social life. Then you say you went to his mother's house with him for a week and you noticed a lot of things. I don't understand it, because if you love a person, you notice things that nobody else seems to notice. I don't get it.
I did love him as a friend, and I did notice a lot of things, but it has nothing to do with the current events. This was 8 years ago.
This is how
He was
strange
not a
this
murderer.
guy was, though. What was the bumper sticker on his truck, Maria? What did it say?
He had a bumper sticker that said, whips and
chains
no,
excite me.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me.
On the phone now with us, is a neighbor of the Rifkins. How about that? A neighbor of the Rifkin family. She has asked us not to use her name, but would like to make a comment. You've been listening. What would you like to add?
I like his mother and sister very much. I adored the father.
Did you know that Joel and his mother had some problems?
I didn't, no. Truthfully, I didn't.
Did you see Joel much?
Yes.
And
Yes.
what kind of a guy was he?
Like everybody says, quiet, kept to himself, constantly tinkering with one thing or another.
Right.
You know, whether it be gardening
What would he
or
tinker with?
vehicles. Excuse me?
What would he tinker with?
Gardening, vehicles, stuff like that. Doing some work around the house outside.
You know what is surprising to me?
What?
I mean, obviously, with all these women that he killed, or has confessed to killing, he hid a lot of these women in his truck. Does that mean they were at home?
Obviously.
And it doesn't surprise you that his mother never checked up on him or noticed anything?
You know, you check up on a 12-year-old, not a 34-year-old.
Oh, there's...
Laura,
How does a mother live in the same house? I mean, regardless, 30, 40 years old, and you don't enter your son's room, you don't see that there's panties and there's bracelets and there's earrings sitting. I mean, how do you live so long with your mother and your mother never enters your
I
room?
have a
I find it
23-year-old.
hard to believe
I have a
that the mother
23-year-old,
and
and I
the
don't
sister
go in
knew
her room.
Let the
nothing
woman
about
answer.
this.
What's that, ma'am?
I have a 23-year-old, and I don't go in her room. You know, she's an adult.
Then you don't care.
I want to, can I say
Okay.
one thing?
Next. Does Joel Rifkin fit the typical profile of a serial killer? Do you know that there is a profile of serial killers? We're going to find out what it's like after this.
Nobody does it juicier than Safeway. This week, come in for a great low price on fryer breast with ribs, just 99 cents a pound. They make a deliciously easy meal. Plus, save on Campbell's tomato soup. 5 cans are only $1. For quality and low prices.
Nobody does it better.
Nobody does it better for less than Safeway.
Today is the big day. Space Limitations have forced Gates Home Furnishings to sell $250,000 in furniture fast. And we've lowered prices to do it. Lamps are an incredible $17. Recliners, an outrageous $97. Full-size mattresses, just $99 per set. It's all happening today till 8 p.m. at both Gates locations in Grants Pass. It's the furniture sale of a lifetime. Don't miss it. You're going to be spending a lot of time outdoors this summer. Surround yourself with the best. At Quality Fence, we carry a complete line of wood and chain link fence, inserts, ornamental iron, and custom gates. Stop by our showroom to see the many styles of fence and let us demonstrate the latest in remote-controlled automatic gate openers. Let our professionals design a system customized to fit your needs, whether it be residential or commercial. Quality Fence on West Pine Street in Central Point.
Attention mobile home buyers, buying a new home, look no further. USA Homes, Southern Oregon's #1 retailer, has it all. That's right, everything you want at 2 convenient locations. Double wides as low as $23,900. 5% down on any home you select. Want a land home package? USA Homes has several to choose from. Best of all, 30-day delivery on any custom-built home. That's right, 30-day delivery time. USA Homes has the right selection, the right price, and the right financing. Look no further. USA Homes with award-winning service and never undersold. USA Homes, Medford and Grants Pass, open 7 days a week till 7 p.m.
A team of medical professionals will be evaluating children in this area for possible admission to a Shriners Hospital. Children under age 18 with problems of the bones, joints, or muscles, and children with problems related to healed burn injuries are invited to attend this free screening clinic. All care at Shriners Hospitals is provided totally without cost.
Shriners Mini Screening Clinic will be held Saturday, October 16th at 124 Midland in Grants Pass. For more information, call 471-1623.
Dr. Michael Spodak practices forensic psychiatry in Baltimore, Maryland. You know a profile of a serial killer?
Yes, they're like wolves in sheep's clothing. We've heard a lot that they're quiet and reclusive. The problem is that not everybody who's quiet and reclusive turns out to be a serial killer. These are people who typically have a very active fantasy life, and the problem is that the fantasies tend to be very violent and destructive. And beyond the fantasy, they actually act out on them, and that seems to be the distinguishing feature.
So what you're saying is that Joel Rifkin might have had these violent fantasies earlier in his life, but it took years for him to act out of?
Probably. They go back a long time. The problem is we're never going to know why he did what he did. There's research suggesting there may be biochemical problems and problems with the actual brain structure. I don't think we're going to find some particular thing. For example, lots of people who are adopted don't turn out to be serial killers. There are lots of people who are abused don't turn out to be murderers. So I'm not sure any one thing is going to explain it for us.
Okay, fine, doctor. Yeah, stand right up. You wanted to ask.
Yeah, the former boyfriend?
Kevin.
Yes. After you hit Joel Rifkin, why didn't you call the cops? You probably could have saved your girlfriend.
Well, you have to know Mary Catherine Williams at that time, too. She was very uncooperative with her Johns. I mean, she did not like what it was that she was doing. And when she got them in the rooms, all she wanted to do was to smoke her crack cocaine and until their time ran out. And for me, to draw attention, bring the police into the particular into that particular apartment building would have gotten her thrown out on the street because the owner did not want any police activity there at all.
Was Joel Rifkin, like, was he like a religious nut, and that's why he killed like hookers and stuff because they were like sinners?
No, I don't think there's ever been anything.
None of that.
Him and his sister were adopted, right?
He and his sister
Yes.
were
But I
adopted.
wanted to know, was there a difference in their behavior?
How about that, Maria?
Between the, I'm sorry.
Between Joel and his sister.
Well, I mean, his sister is, you know, has a regular job and lives a normal life, and obviously he's, you know, turned out the way he did. I mean, there's a definite difference between the two of them.
I just have a comment for Catherine. For a physically ill person, you really look perfectly fine for me. It looks like you just want to be famous for...
You do?
Yeah, she looks...
Really?
Excuse me. May I answer that?
Sure, yes, I want
I am very sorry for the families, the parents, the brothers, the sisters, and everyone who has lost someone in this. I am sick for his mother, and most of all, for the dead girls. And as far as being physically ill, lady, it's everything I can do to sit here and stomach every sentence I'm hearing. This is the first time I've seen any of these films, and maybe I look fine. I'm not fine. No. And this has destroyed my life.
We'll be back after this.
If you would like to join Maury in the studio audience, then call or write for free tickets. It's the Maury Povich Show, 221 West 26th Street, New York, 10001. Or call 212-989-3622.
Did you know that professional salespeople are among the highest paid professionals in the nation? If you'd like to have above average income and a choice of different industries, then call Delta College and enroll in the professional sales and marketing program. In just 30 weeks, you will receive training in effective sales techniques and complete assistance in securing that first position that could put you on the road to success and financial security. So call Delta College today in Medford at 770-2001. Once again, that's 770-2001. You may even be eligible for financial aid.
Color Time's getting wild. Hog wild! Hog wild! Get 50% off your first month's rent during our Hog Wild sale. That's 50% off a new color TV or 50% off a washer and dryer. And remember, at Color Time, there's no credit check, no down payment, and we'll have it in your home tonight. Color Time's getting hog wild.
Oh, Gary, you're such a ham.
Yeehaw! Color Time at the Kmart Center in Medford.
Southern Oregon's largest and most unique antique showrooms is Heirloom Antiques. Come in and see hard-to-find, one-of-a-kind items like a 1904 horse-drawn carriage, an 1860 pump organ with ivory keys, old-style telephones, radios, and typewriters in working order, beautiful armoires, kitchen utensils, and many other items of antique furniture and collectibles for the home. Antique lovers will love shopping at Heirloom Antiques, 5 miles east of Medford on Crater Lake Highway, next to Waterworld.
And now, this month's Oregon Spirit Award winners, Providence Hospital and Medical Center's SCI Peer Counselors. Having adapted to life with a spinal cord injury, these outstanding volunteers freely give of their time to help others experiencing the trauma of paralysis. As positive role models, the peer counselors offer newly injured patients much-needed physical and emotional support. KTVL and Fred Meyer salute the SCI Peer Counselors.
Look at all the attorneys in the yellow pages.
Dwyer Simpson Attorneys has years of experience representing clients injured in accidents.
That's what I need, an attorney with a lot of experience in my type of case.
Dwyer Simpson works hard to get their clients the amount of money they deserve.
I need an attorney who will work for me, one I can trust.
Quality representation from experienced attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, call Dwyer Simpson Attorneys, just to be sure.
Guests of the Maury Povich Show stay at the Lowe's New York Hotel, offering the finest in comfort, service, and value, conveniently located in the heart of Manhattan.
As we said at the top of the show, the story is still unfolding. Who knows? There may be more bodies. We're going to be watching the news, and we'll update you on the story because Maria, Joe Rifkin is going to plead insanity or not?
Yes, he is going to try an insanity plea, but it seems very unlikely. To prove an insanity plea, you have to show that the defendant did not know what he was doing was wrong and did not realize it, and it seems pretty clear. He covered his tracks. He was very detailed about disposing of the bodies.
As we leave, to Cheryl and her family, and to you, Zeta and Carol and your family, we offer our sympathies. And Catherine and Kevin, thank you very much. And thank you, Alan and Michael, for joining us. Thank you out there. Until next time, America. Tomorrow, they've had enough. Wives tell their husbands they're tired of dressing sexy. Plus, an everyday mom becomes an MTV superstar. Tomorrow.
A promotional fee has been provided by...
Ow! I feel good. So good. So good.
Senecot laxative tablets work like second nature overnight.
Tetley round tea bags with more tea per bag and more taste per tea. But why is it round?
From KTVL Channel 10, the news leader, this is a Channel 10 news break.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kim Farah. Coming up tonight at 5 o'clock, another aftershock measuring 4.3 on the Richter scale hit Southern Oregon last night. Little damage was reported, but the aftershock is shaking up people a bit. Meanwhile, geologists are in Klamath Falls trying to figure out how and why the quakes hit our area. And we'll introduce you to an earthquake forecaster who says he saw the Klamath Falls quakes coming weeks ago, and government officials confirm his story. Join us at 5 o'clock.
Areas where reception is difficult, KTVL rebroadcasts our signal over the following translator channels located throughout 10 countries. KTVL Channel 10, the news leader.